You know, whenever a customer or whenever an employee leaves the store, we always do bag checks, coat checks,
Really?
pocket checks, usually in front of the camera. You know, if somebody leaves, we'll have a manager check the bags, check the coats. You know, and we'll give a thumbs
Okay.
up to the camera to make sure, let them know everything's all right. And but usually, there's, most of my female employees don't usually bring purses in, so I mean, there's not usually a whole lot to check. I mean, we'll pat our pockets
Yeah.
down, and I mean, we can't have anybody else pat anybody down, but they'll pat their own pockets down,
Yeah.
and just to make it obvious that there's nothing there. So
So every time you leave, you have to be like, hey, look, I don't have
pretty
anything.
much, yeah. So.
Okay.
And then that's pretty much our, and we check employee accounts and, and to make sure, nothing fraudulent is being done, so.
And then in terms of money, how often do the cash registers get counted?
I mean, they get counted every morning before we put them in the till, and they get counted down every single night. Of course, like most retail stores, once our drawers reach a certain amount of cash in the drawer, it calls for a cash drop.
Mm-hmm.
We take it out and we put it in the safe,
Okay.
so.
And then what do you do if there's a discrepancy between how much should be in there?
I mean, if it's the way they say, if it's over if it's under or over $5, then usually it's an issue. But I mean, if it's within $5 of being over or being under, we'll check a couple of times, make sure we haven't miscounted anything, and and if after that, we can't find the problem, then we'll leave it be. But if it's usually more than $5, then usually I'm pretty strict on trying to find where it is.
Right.
So,
Now,
but we haven't had that much of a problem here with that. So,
Okay.
Who counts it? You?
Mhm.
You count?
the managers. I mean, I've got 4 managers. I've got an assistant and 2 shift leaders. It just depends. Whoever opens counts all the
Okay.
tills. Whoever closes, we'll count them at night. So.
So going back to when new movies come, who handles the delivery?
It's a company called Special Dispatch out of St. Louis. It goes through several companies because they're the ones that give ship the products, and they have to deliver the products to us. He usually delivers the products through Champaign, the Bloomington stores, Decatur, and the Danville store. So.
Okay, and then once they come to the store, who checks them all?
The manager has to actually check them in because
Okay.
CSRs don't have the ability to be able to check stuff in. But once we receive it, it can be processed by anybody. Usually we just take them out. We'll separate them by release date. This
Mhm.
comes out this next week. Because sometimes we'll get stuff that actually doesn't come out for like another 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll separate it by release date, and we'll lock everything. We'll box it up. We'll mark it. And we'll put it back in our room.
Okay.
So.
And then if something comes early, don't employees, can't they can take it home till?
We can rent stuff ahead of time, yeah. We can rent, up until the day before it comes out, we can rent it. It has to be checked back in midnight before the day it's released.
Okay.
Then once it's actually released, if we want to rent it again, we have to pay for the extra rental. We can't rent it until it's 3 weeks old,
Okay.
so for free.
I see.
So, because we get 5 free rentals a week, and most of the time they're renting on pre-streets, which is, movies that aren't out yet. So, but then, to rent a movie again that's already released, we have to wait until it's 3 weeks old to repay for it.
Okay, and then if you have to pay for it, so you have to pay for the whole
Yeah, the
full
$3.99,
price?
yeah.
Okay.
Just because, during that 3 weeks is the main time it's gonna be rented.
Right.
They don't want employees really renting them in that time, so more for the customers.
Okay. So, just to, guess, go over it one more time, sorry. So is there a process for delivery and stocking of the inventory? Once it comes here, it's checked in by a manager, and then...
We'll go through all the boxes, like I said, just separate them,
Yeah.
we'll rebox them back up, put the dates on them that they're released, put the titles on them. We'll usually take 6 or 7 copies of each title and set it aside for employee rentals, because we put those in one spot. That way, employees
Okay.
don't have to go digging through all the boxes of random stuff. So,
Okay. How often are movies not returned?
way often. I mean, we've always got people take advantage of the 7-day grace period.
Yeah.
Even after that, we still have a lot of stuff that comes back post 37, which means that You know, you have a 7-day grace period on the 8-day charges, and you got 30 days still to bring it back. You know, we still got a lot of movies returned that were past the 30 days. You know, when it reaches that point, the system doesn't even let us check it back in. It's, unfortunately, it's member owned. The customer's gonna have to pay for the movie.
Okay.
So,
And what do you do if a movie is not returned, so it gets charged to their account?
if it's, I mean, it's usually, I mean, if we don't have it inside the store, you know, the customer has to pay for the movie. You know, we'll get some disputes here and there where customers claim, you know, yeah, I brought it back. You know, usually if that happens, we'll go check the floor, you know, check the cabinets that it might have been put in. And usually, you know, if it's not returned, you know, we just, you know, we tell the customer, you know, it's not here. Every once in a while, I'll work with the customer, you know, and you know, if there's a real issue. If they're a frequent winner and say it doesn't, you know, let's say they rent one movie and, you know, they claim they brought it back and it's not here, I'll usually work with them, you know, but if they take it, you know, if I can see on their account they're taking advantage of it, then, you know, I'll stop helping out, so.
How far back does their history go?
Histories go back 90 days.
Okay.
So.
Just related to that, I brought in a movie to a different rental store, and they kept saying I didn't do it. I'm like, okay, give me the number, whatever, the like serial number. And I went and I found it on the floor. I'm like, see?
Did you really?
Told you. So,
was it here or
no,
the other store?
It was at home.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, usually if a customer, like I said, you know, customer says, you know, hey, I got a call saying I had this out, but, you know, I brought it back, you know, our first notice is to go check the floor, you know, because there are, you know, times where we do make mistakes and the movies do get put back on the floor without being checked in. You know, that usually happens when there's new employees, you know, we're still trying to train. You know, it does happen, you know, and, you know, we try to control that as much as possible, but, you know, it still does happen. So we'll take the movie in. If for any reason there is a balance, we'll take it off because, you know, obviously it was our fault. So, you know, we'll apologize and try to do, you know, what we can to make the customer happy.
Okay. Do you ever analyze a customer's video rental history? Because you said that it goes back 90 days. Do you ever use that information to determine the number of movies you're going to get, or...
Determine what?
Do you ever take customer information, say people around here really like comedies? Do you ever use that information?
Yeah, I mean, there's demographics at different stores. You know, say in Chicago, some stores are considered more urban. So, you know, say they might have got 400 copies of Notorious versus we got 150. We're kind of a mixture of everything here. You know, we comedy, drama, kids. You know, we're a mixture of everything. But like I ran the store on Neal Street before it closed down, and that store was primarily, you know, most of our customers were college kids. You know, so comedies did really, really well there. You know, I remember the day Knocked Up came out. It rented out over 200 copies. Rented out the day it came out.
Okay.
You know, I haven't seen a movie rent out like that in a long, long time. But that store usually, you know, if it's, you know, kind of a vulgar comedy like that, that store did really well with it. So versus, you know, say here or the other store in Springfield, Madness didn't rent as well. So I mean, the demographics really they do make a difference.
So it's used. That kind of information goes back to whoever does the ordering. Yeah,
I mean, like, you know, they'll. I mean, yeah, corporate. I mean, they'll keep track of, you know, anything through our system. They can keep track of what movies do go where. You know, so yeah, that would be used, yeah, to send. Okay, this store did really good with this kind of comedy. We'll send them more copies than this store. So yeah, so that does play a difference.
Are those kind of decisions made on a territory level or state level, or?
Usually corporate level. I mean, it
so
all runs.
Nationwide.
Yeah, it's all nationwide. So.
Okay. What system do you use to maintain customers' membership information?
The main database that we have is from 1982.
Oh, wow.